Hey everyone, so in today's class we are going to be reviewing our theory workbook exam questions, and it is going over chapter 3, Physiology and Histology of the Skin. So you should have already watched my previous video of me pretty much reading the entire chapter 3, which is discussing layers of the skin. If you have not watched that video, I would suggest that you do so before watching this one and us going over the exam review questions. Okay, the purpose of today is for you to write down the correct answers for the exam review questions, because you will be using this for study material as you start getting ready for your state board written test. You will find these questions and answers very, very useful. So I'll give you guys a second to take out your theory workbook, which is the matching textbook to the Big Milady Standard Aesthetics book. Notice how I have my big textbook out because I do want to go back and check to make sure we find some of those answers. And on your theory workbook, I believe it starts on page 56. Okay, so right before we start with our questions and answer, this is on page 85 on the actual textbook. Okay, the integumentary system is the largest organ in the body. It is a strong barrier designed to protect us from the outside elements. Skin layers, nerves, cellular functions, hair follicles, and glands all work together harmoniously to regulate and protect our body. Hormones, growth factors, and other biochemicals control the skin's intricate functions. All right, you guys, so let's go over our exam review questions. Again, I hope you are following along with me and that you have your theory workbook. Now, on your own time, I do expect you to go back and fill in the rest of this chapter and do the fill in the blank questions. Now, the crossword puzzles you do not have to do unless you want to, of course. It starts on page 56. The first question says, why is UVB radiation also known as the burning rays? This is on page 108, okay? Page 108, right in here. And again, you should have this highlighted. So UVB radiation, also known as the burning rays, causes burning of the skin as well as tanning, aging, and cancer. UVB wavelengths range between 290 to 320 nanometers. Although UVB penetration is shorter than and not as deep as UVA, these wavelengths are stronger and more damaging to the skin and can damage the eyes as well. So for question number 1, the answer is A. A as in apple. UVB wavelengths causes cancer as well as burning of the skin. Again, you can find it on page 108. Number 2, what is not an element of the skin's acid mantle? What is not an element of the skin's acid mantle? You can find this on page 87 on the big textbook. 87. The answer is A, blood. Okay. The acid mantle is part of the skin's natural barrier function. The barrier function is the skin's mechanism that protects us from irritation and intercellular transepidermal water loss. The water loss caused by evaporation on the skin's surface. Lipids are substances that contribute to the barrier function of the epidermis. Lipids are protective oils and are part of the intercellular matrix between the epidermal cells. Damage to the barrier layer is the cause of many skin problems, including sensitivities, aging, and dehydration. Okay, so the answer for number 2 is A. Number 3, what causes injured skin to restore itself to its normal thickness? What causes injured skin to restore itself to its normal thickness? You can find this on page 88. Okay. The skin's most amazing feature is the ability to heal itself. Skin can repair itself when injured, thus protecting the body from infection and damage from injury. Through a hyperproduction of cells and blood clotting, injured skin can restore itself to its normal thickness. Right there on page 88. So the answer to number 3 is A. Number 4. Histology is also known as blank. You guys, histology is also known as microscopic anatomy. The microscopic anatomy, and that's on page 83. Okay, right in here on page 83. Number 5, which of the following is not a characteristic of healthy skin? Which of the following is not a characteristic of healthy skin? The answer to number 5 is C. And you can find it on page 85. Number 5 is C as in cat. Number 6, what are most abundant in the fingertips as opposed to other parts of the body? Let's look at page 87. Right up here. Sensory nerve fibers are most abundant in the fingertips and are designed to be one of the most sensitive parts of the body. So the answer for number 6 is D. D as in dog. Number 6 is D. Number 7, what is the average internal temperature of the body in degrees Fahrenheit? You can find this on page 89 at the very top. 98.6. The body's average internal thermostat is set at 98.6 Fahrenheit. Again, you guys, this should already be highlighted. If you watched my previous video, you should have all this information highlighted. Remember that when you see stars on my textbook, that means that's where you will find assistance to answering your chapter 3 paper test questions, okay? So if you haven't picked up on that, that's what those little stars mean. And of course, everything that's highlighted, although all the information in the entire chapter is very important, but again, just highlighting a lot of this will help you. Number 8, why does the body perspire? Why does the body perspire? Okay. It perspires, you guys, to protect us from overheating. And this is also on page 89. Number 8 is A. Right here, okay? Pseudofurious glands serve to prevent the body from overheating. Right there in the middle, where it says excretion. Number 9, what are follicles? What are follicles? Okay, follicles are tube-like depressions with oil glands attached to them. Some follicles have hair and others are hairless. When clients refer to their pores, they may be actually referring to follicles, okay? So number 9 is B as in boy. Number 9 is B, right there on page 89. Number 10, what is glycation? What is glycation? Again, If you have your book out, you can follow along with your theory workbook as we find some of these answers, okay? What is glycation on page 112? Glycation is the binding of a protein molecule to a glucose molecule, resulting in the formation of damaged, non-functioning structures known as advanced glycation and products. Glycation alters protein structures and decreases biological activity. For example, glycation contributes to the aging of skin, contributing to wrinkles and hyperpigmentation. So number 10 is C as in cat. Number 10 is C, and it's right here on page 112. Number 11, what are hair papillae? Let's look on page 92. What are hair papillae? Right here. Under where it says the papillary layer, note that the papillae in the hair follicle are called hair papillae and are the small cone-shaped structures at the bottom of the hair follicle. The blood supplies nourishment within the skin through capillaries. The papillary layer comprises 10 to 20% of the dermis. Collagen and elastin are loose and more widely spaced here than in the reticular layer. So the answer for number 11 is B. Number 11 is B as in boy. Number 12, where in the body is hyaluronic acid found? Where in the body is hyaluronic acid found? Let's look at page 93 right here. Okay, it says, a healthy fluid intake is essential to keep the GAGs functioning properly. Beneficial hydrating fluids such as hyaluronic acid are part of this dermal substance. Hyaluronic acid is a GAG. Ingredients that duplicate these natural intercellular fluids are important in aesthetics and skincare products and are discussed, of course, in other chapters. So it is found in the skin. Number 12 is B. Number 12 is B. B as in boy. Number 13. What is hydrolipidic film? What is hydrolipidic film? Let's look at page 87. Page 87. Right here under where it says protection. So the acid mantle is a protective barrier made up of sebum, right? Lipids, sweat, and water. These components form a hydrolipidic film to protect the skin from drying out and from exposure to external factors that could damage it. Hydro means water. Lipidic means oil. A hydrolipidic film provides an oil-water balance on the skin's surface. So there's our answer right there. Number 13 is D. D as in dog. Number 13 is D. Number 14. What is the acid mantle? What is the acid mantle? Same, page 87. The acid mantle, you guys. So let's back up. The acid mantle has an average pH of 5.5. The balanced pH of the skin is important to protect the body from pathogens and to regulate enzymatic functions. The acid mantle is part of the skin's natural barrier function. The barrier function is the skin's mechanism that protects us from irritation, again, and intercellular transepidermal water loss, okay? So the acid mantle is A protective layer of lipids and secretions on the skin's surface. Number 14 is B as in boy. Number 14 is B. Number 15. Where in the body are the coiled structures known as apocrine glands found? Let's look at page 104. 104. If I can get there. All right, so the apocrine glands right here are coiled structures attached to the hair follicle found in the underarm and the genital areas. So number 15 is B. Number 15 is B. Number 16. What is the result of the contraction of the erector pili muscle? What is the result of the contraction of the erector pili muscle? So what happens is you get goosebumps. You get goosebumps. So the answer to 16 is D, and you can find that on page 103. Number 17. What are ceramides? What are ceramides? Right here at the top, ceramides are a group of waxy lipid molecules such as glycolipids that are important to barrier functions and water holding capacity. 50% of the lipids in the stratum corneum are ceramides. Fatty acids are also components of the intercellular substances. So, number 17 is A, glycolipid materials. Ceramides are glycolipids materials, and that's on page 107. So 17 is A. Number 18. What is collagen? What is collagen? What is collagen? Bottom of page 92 for your answer. Collagen is a protein substance of complex fibers that gives skin its strength, and it is necessary for wound healing. Produced by fibroblasts, collagen makes up 70% of the dermis. Fibroblast cells produce proteins and aid in the production of collagen and elastin. So number 18 is B. Number 18 is B as in boy, and it's on page 92. Number 19. What are corneocytes? What are corneocytes? Let's look on page 95. Okay, so keratinocytes have many different functions and go through changes as they move up through the layers to the top layer of the stratum corneum. Stem cells are the mother cells that divide in the basal layer or stratum germinativum, forming new daughter cells. These daughter cells move up through the layers before becoming hardened corneocytes of the stratum corneum. So keratinocytes and other cells protect the epidermis. Other cells in the epidermis include melanocytes, immune cells, lamellar granules, and Merkel cells. So the answer for number 19 is B, hardened keratinocytes. What are corneocytes? They are hardened keratinocytes. So number 19 is B. Number 20. What are membranes of ridges and grooves that attach to the epidermis? They are dermal papillae, and that's on page 92. Okay, that's on page 92, right here. Okay, right in this area. 20 is B. 21, how fast does hair grow? How fast does hair grow? You can find it, let's see, on page 101. 101. The speed of hair growth is roughly 0.5 inch per month, which is about 6 inches per year. So the answer to number 21 is B. 21 is B. 22. What is oil that provides protection of the epidermis from external factors and that lubricates both the skin and hair? 22 is D. Sebum. 22 is D. Sebum. You can find that on page 89. 89. 23. What is the formal name for the horny layer? What is the formal name for the horny layer? Okay. And that, you guys, is stratum corneum. The stratum corneum. That's on page 97, right there, that first sentence. 24. What is the technical term for nail? What is the technical term for nail? Look on page 102, okay? The technical term for nail is onyx. Onyx. 24 is A. 24 is A. Number 25. What is true of the stratum corneum? Let's look on page 97. Stratum corneum. It is the outermost layer of the epidermis. So 25 is B as in boy. It is the outermost layer of the skin. 25 is B. 26. What happens in the stratum germinativum? What happens in the stratum germinativum? Okay, right in here, page 95, you guys. This is where cells divide, okay? Cells start to divide in the stratum germinativum. 26 is B. 26 is B. Page 95. 27. What happens in the stratum granulosum? What happens in the stratum granulosum? Page 97. Okay, right at the top. The stratum granulosum, also known as the granular layer, it is composed of cells that resemble granules and are filled with keratin. The production of keratin and intercellular lipids also take place here in this layer. So the answer to number 27 is C. Keratin is produced. Keratin is produced. Number 27 is C. 28. What part of the skin provides a protective cushion and energy storage for the body? 28 is B. Subcutaneous layer. Subcutaneous layer. Okay. Subcutaneous layer, also known as the hypodermis or superficial, okay, fascia. Loose connective tissue, also known as adipose tissue, which contains 80% fat, creates a protective cushion that gives contour and smoothness to the body, is a source of stored energy, right there at the bottom of page 99. So number 28 is B. B as in boy. 29. What are the glands that excrete perspiration, regulates body temperature, and detoxifies the body? What is it, you guys? It is the Pseudofurious glands. Let's look on page 89. The Pseudofurious glands, also known as the sweat glands, excrete perspiration. Right there, there's our answer. So 29 is A. 29 is A. 30. What is telangiectasia? What is telangiectasia? Page 114. They are capillary wall dilation. 30 is A. 30 is A. Okay. And here, page 114, it talks about telangiectasia and the dilation of capillary walls, okay? 31. What causes transepidermal water loss? What causes transepidermal water loss? You should know this. It is caused by evaporation. 31 is B. It is caused by evaporation, okay? And that's on page 88. Page 88. 31 is B. 32. What is the dermis? What is the dermis? The dermis support layer below the epidermis. It is a support layer right below the epidermis. That's on page 92. Page 92. Okay, I know it's a long chapter, so there's a lot going back and forth between all of these pages. But yes, it is a support layer of connective tissues above the hypodermis, okay, which is the epidermis. So 32 is D. 32 is D. 33. Which nerves react to heat, cold, pain, pressure, and touch? Those are our sensory nerves. Sensory nerves. 33 is C, and that's on page 103. 103. Sensory or afferent nerve fibers send messages to the central nervous system and brain to react to heat, cold, pain, pressure, and touch. So, yep, that would be C. 33 is C. 34. What protein fiber is found in the dermis and gives skin its flexibility and firmness? That will be elastin, okay? That's what gives us our flexibility and firmness, elastin. 34 is D, and you can find it on page 92. 34 is D. 35. What hormone stimulates cells to reproduce and heal? What hormone? 35 is B as in boy, and it is the epidermal growth factor, also known as EGF, and that is on page 88. 88. Right at the bottom, okay? 36. What is true of the epidermis? What is true of the epidermis? It is the outermost layer of the skin. 36 is A. 36 is A, and that's on page 94. 94. 37. What comprises about 50 to 70% of our skin? That would be water. Water. It's on page 89. 37 is B. 37 is B. 38. What causes the body to produce its own vitamin D? Exposure to the sun. Exposure to the sun. That's on page 98. 39. What is not one of the 6 primary functions of the skin? What is not one? Okay, that's on page 86. So let's look at page 86. So here's all the functions where it starts to talk about all the functions. So it would be reflection. Reflection is definitely not one function. So the functions are sensation, protection, heat regulation, excretion, secretion, and absorption. So those are the 6 functions. So 39 is D. 40. When do free radicals produce more free radicals? That's on page 109. The answer for number 40 is B. While causing oxidation reaction, it produces more free radicals. Number 40 is B as in boy. 41. What function do the Pseudofurious glands perform? You guys, it excretes perspiration, it regulates body temperature, and it also detoxifies the body. So 41 is B, and you can find that on page 89. Okay, 89. Right there under excretion. 42. Equine glands are sweat glands. Okay, Equine glands are sweat glands. That's also on page 104. 104. Okay. Right at the bottom, the equine glands are found all over the body, but are primarily on the forehead, palms of the hands, and soles of the feet. They have a duct and pore through which secretions are released on the skin's surface. These glands are not connected to hair follicles, okay? Equine glands are more active when the body is subject to physical activity and high temperatures. 43. Blank are the basic material and building blocks of the body's tissue. The answer to 43 is A. Proteins are the basic materials and building blocks of the body's tissue. That's on page 85. 43 is A. 44. What are sweat glands that are found all over the body with openings on the skin's surface through pores and that are not attached to the hair follicles? So we just read that. Those are called equine glands. They're not attached to hair follicles. So 44 is B. And again, it's right here, bottom of page 104. 35. What function do sebaceous glands perform? Sebaceous glands, okay? It's on page 89, and the answer is it protects the surface of the skin, okay? They help protect the surface of the skin. 45 is A. 46, estheticians who specialize in the health and beauty of skin are sometimes referred to as technicians. Technicians. 46 is D. 47, estheticians should be able to interpret the effects of which factor that influences skin health and appearance. Hormones, nutrition, ultraviolet damage. So the answer would be D, all of the above. 47 is D. 48, what is an esthetician's primary focus? Our focus is to preserve the skin, protect the skin, and nourish the skin. So 48 is also D, all of the above. You guys can find this on page 85, okay? It's all on page 85, right in this page. 49, what does scar tissue lack? It lacks hair and sweat glands. 49 is B as in boy. 50, estheticians should have a thorough understanding of physiology and histology of the skin for all of the following except 2, be able to help clients choose hormone replacement therapy program. So 50 is D, and you can find that on page 115. 51, what percentage of hard B keratin does hair contain? What percentage? It contains 90%. Hair contains 90% of hard B keratin. That's on page 101. So 51 is C. 52, how is B keratin different from A keratin? Also on page 101. The difference is it has a lower moisture and fat than A keratin. So B keratin has a lower moisture and fat, more fat than A keratin type does. So 52 is B. 53, which of the following statements is true about the nail plate? It contains no nerves. 53 is A, and it's on page 102. Okay, 102. The hard or horny nail plate contains no nerves or blood vessels. Right there, page 102. 53 is A. 54. If a person has a purple or bluish tone under their fingernails, they most likely have which condition? 54 is D, cyanosis. 54 is D. 55. Which nerves convey impulses from the brain or spinal cord to the muscles or glands? It will be the motor nerves. 55 is A, and you can find that on page 103. Page 103. All right, you guys, so that concludes chapter 3 and our theory workbook review. I hope you guys found this information useful and helpful. If you did not get to get all of the answers, please feel free to rewatch this video, and again, go back and fill in any missing blanks for this chapter. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach me. And that's it for me for today, you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, keep going, keep growing, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.